Well, guys, I'm still in shock, catatonic. I mean, I've been devastated for 2 or 3 days now by the spectacular disaster I'm seeing at Real Madrid. Disappointed with everyone. Uh, these are tough days for fans of certain people in particular, whether it's Mbappe, Vinicio, or Florentino. So now they're a bit, well, not so lost. Life is easy for them because they always side with their own guy. But those of us who want Madrid to do well, we see what everyone is doing, and well, I think we have to call them out and criticize it. And the first thing I take from this is that if now this man gets rid of his coach, and a few months ago the other one got rid of the other one, exposing both of them in different ways, and now I'm going to explain how, according to each of their personalities. That should have been controlled by the main person in the club, who is the president, because everything that happens in this club that gets out of hand is the president's responsibility. And to bring order there, which was never done, that's why this guy thinks he can challenge the club, take down the coach when he's already out. And back in the day, Vinicius thought it was no big deal to snub his coach and then apologize to everyone except his coach. It's unbelievable. And the club didn't find that guy back then, and now they don't find this one either. And in the end, nothing gets done. We let two players fight in the locker room, but of course we fine each of them 500,000 euros. But then we say, coming from the president himself, from the top boss, that it's nothing, that they just fought. Top Rokiski all these years. Well, of course, that's why the toughest fines in Real Madrid's history were given to players. Look, honestly, it's exhausting. But anyway, I'm going to stick to the point. It's early Friday morning. There's so much going on. There have been things we haven't heard live on Vape. This will complement Anoche's live stream, originally planned as a post-match stream. They booed Mbappé, removed some banners, and now we have this big mess. That's why I changed the thumbnail and said, this is how the live battle between Mbappé and Arbeloa has unfolded. And we said the one who handled things well and acted appropriately here was Arbeloa. Now, Arbeloa also gave him a little taste of his own medicine. Just a little, huh? Just a little. Because with Alvaro, as you know, based on what he said in press conferences, sometimes he's been very good, like in this latest one, and other times bad. And here we've said when he did badly and when he did well. Here we don't say that one person is always right and another is always wrong. You'll see that with others. Here, what Arbeloa did last night when they asked him about what his player had said, here we appreciate it because he acted as a coach. Hey, I didn't say that to him. I don't know what he understood. I understood that if this guy, just a few days ago, couldn't even be on the bench for a match, today he couldn't be a starter, of course. He didn't say it like this, what I'm about to say now, but he implied that this guy didn't back out, but rather left a training session saying he was hurt, so he couldn't be in the Clásico. And if he wasn't on the bench, how is he going to play today? In fact, he said he'll be in Sevilla because 7 days will have passed, and he's our striker. He's our best striker. Well, he didn't say our best striker, but you know, he's a very important player. He'll be in Sevilla, but today he couldn't be a starter here. Arbeloa defended himself perfectly by saying, I'm the one who decides, no matter who the player is, who plays and who doesn't. Perfect. After what his player Mbappé did, speaking before him and throwing all these jabs at him, I'm going to see how they reacted. It's unbelievable. It's just unbelievable, man. What Mbappé did was really messed up because he knows the other guy is out. He's going to go after him. And look, this has been planned for a long time. And that's where we're headed. This was planned long ago. And because of certain messages he sent, and he sent a lot of messages, in the end, we saw a part of it. That's why I say it complements the live stream. We saw a part, the most important part, and we're going to repeat it because it's very important. The most striking part of everything he said was this. Now we'll comment briefly, review anything missed during the live stream, and discuss a few more topics. Look. How hurt are you right now? You're very hurt.
No, I'm fine. I'm really fine, 100%, but I didn't play because the coach told me not to.
I have to stop here because looking at his face, no, I'm fine. I knew he wanted to say what he's about to say. He doesn't look at anyone and just delivers the message he wants to deliver, which is tough. I mean, he makes it seem like the coach told him he's the fourth in line, man, like Arbeloa said. And I think Arbeloa, I don't think he actually told him that. But yeah.
I haven't played because the coach told me so. The fourth forward on the team behind Mastro, Antuano, Vini, and Gonzalo. In the end, I accept it and play whatever minutes I get. And that's why I play well. I gave an assist to Jude and we played well. We won. It's important to win at home and always be positive.
Since you were injured, he said you're now the fourth striker. How did that happen?
I asked the coach, what do you think I'm going to say? Are you ready to be a starter? No. Yes, I was ready to be a starter, but it's his decision. You can't be mad at a coach. You always have to respect the coach's opinion. That's me, working hard in training, working hard in matches to wait for my chance to be a starter.
See how he hits and then eases up? That's what passive-aggressive is. He takes a shot and then backs off. You have to respect the coach, but I'm here to work. Still, he took the first shot. And this bastard is all about psychology. He twists things even better than we thought. He's strategic, he's Machiavellian, he's incredible. And it's a shame, like Anderson Rubia says, I'm going to see if I can find a really good tweet from him. Because Anderson Rubia, come on, he's been watching French soccer his whole life, and he says this. Someone tells him this. Says, you can't go out and openly question the coach. Clear up whatever you need to clear up. You claim full commitment to the club, admit you fell short, understand the fans, and work to resolve issues, not worsen them. There's an account called Marcelino, right? Anderson Rubia says he already did it with Gautier in Paris. Posting a story, pivot gang, a reference to playing as a number 9. He said once, posting a story, pivot gang, referring to playing as a number 9. He said during a training camp with France that he felt more comfortable playing with a number 9, but not at PSG. The day he became the top scorer in PSG's history, he said that if he had tied his future in Paris to the Champions League, he would have left a long time ago. He says he doesn't learn. It's surprising that a player with such talent is ruining his image because his ego tells him he's above everything. And he's always looking for that, right? To be above everyone else and all that. We saw these signs at Paris Saint-Germain and we found them funny because we thought, let's see if he breaks away from them. He says he doesn't learn. And of course, because we were hoping to see that happen. Later in the last stage, not so many people wanted that anymore, right? But anyway, the thing is that I went to look into Rubia because I remembered. But yeah, that's it. He says this, and like I said in a tweet, I want to say it exactly because damn, that's what happened. Player sinking with his above everything. Emotional and uncontrollable. Without thinking, and look, I think without bad intentions, Vinicius, what happens is Vinicius needs to be given, he needs to be calmed down. He doesn't learn. A player who does well when he's in good shape, but Vinicius is like that. That's why I say that. Vinicius, I don't think he's a bad guy. Vinicius, he's the kind of person who says something crazy to you and then apologizes. That kind of person. But he threw his coach under the bus, the one who's on top of him. And think about it. When he made the correction or when he apologized about putting his coach first and smoothing things over and all that, and he didn't do it. Be careful, because that's when Vinicius really thought about it. But, well, that's just how he is. Today, Mbappé threw his coach under the bus in his own way. Cold, calculated, and acting like nothing happened. That's why later he puts on that face like, no, not me. That's it, passive-aggressive, man. And I'm saying that both of them are out of line, or that behavior from both of them has been unacceptable, and that Florentino has allowed this to happen, that the club doesn't set things straight. And sorry, you're going to tell me now you're blaming Florentino again. Sorry, but look at everything that's happened this year. Damn, 2 guys got into a fight. One of them split his head open. 2 others fought. Everything that's happened. There's a click that gets a coach fired. Because yesterday Manolo Lama was saying, no, this is clear. He says it here on Cope. He said it on Cope. I don't have the audio, but he says at the end, he says Manolo Lama went even further. And the most serious thing of all, from what I've heard, what they've told him, is that it's confirmed that Xavi Alonso was taken out by 3 men who were Vinicius, Valverde, and Bellingham, a group of players who were with Xavi Alonso and disappointed with the decision to dismiss him. We'll get to that when we talk about where all this started. Manolo Lama says this now like he's just discovered it. I know that many of you stopped following him. You tell me things about the angle and all that. I think differently from Iñaki about a lot of things. For me, when it comes to forming my own opinion, I don't care about either side. I don't watch other people's videos, except on rare occasions. I've already got enough to deal with on my end and with my own people, okay? But it was a whole thing, because a lot of people saw this video when he said, Xavi, it's these guys. And he pointed at these 3. Now, Manolo Lama is saying months later that it was those 3. Don't you find it curious? and you'll say, no, Manolo Lama, another misinformed person. Honestly, we've reached a point where, come on, are you going to deny that there were a number of players who wanted Xavi out and others who defended him? Are you going to deny that? This is what happened. And Mbappé is taking justice into his own hands because of this. And he can't do that either, even if I agree with him that it was a disgrace that they kicked Xavi out. It can't be, because let's try to be consistent. And at the time, it really bothered me that there were players, some more openly than others, who undermined their coach back then, the previous coach. Today, I feel just as bad, knowing others, who I may agree with, are upset about firing the first coach and now undermining the current one. Hey, we have to respect hierarchies here. We're crazy. If we don't, the club is doomed. And that's where we're headed. Because nobody has restored order there. So Mbappé, the origin of all this is that he was really upset over what happened with Xavi. And now let's look at another statement from Mbappé, which I think is about Bellingham. I think it's about Bellingham. There was a disconnect between Mbappé and Bellingham. I think it's pretty obvious. Mbappé and Vinicius, even though later it seems like I think so too. And they've pointed fingers at each other, but we saw it during the fight. Tchouaméni, pro-Xavi, Valverde anti-Xavi. We've seen this. And in the end, this ended up like a total mess. Everyone ended up fighting, either verbally or physically. Do you get it now, once and for all? Journalists have always stirred things up, but this time the problem was already inside. No one brought it in. It was in the locker room. Hey, he says this. Let's see. He claims he didn't see the fight between Valverde and Tchouaméni, but who believes him now? That's what he said.
He said that you left laughing the day there was a fight between Tchouaméni and Valverde. I don't know if you wanted to clear this up because it's been talked about a lot too.
Yeah, I wasn't there. I wasn't there when all of this happened. Ultimately, I can't confirm if something happened since I wasn't there. In the end, I left the training ground without knowing what happened. Because I was injured, I wasn't training with the team. In the end, I have the same information as you.
Who believes him? Really, who believes him? And the next day, did you already know, or had you still not found out? Because, as he's going to say now, he only watches French TV and not Spanish TV. You'd know by the next day, man. They caught you laughing on day one. So why laugh the same way again on day two? But anyway, hey, I mean, who believes now that this guy isn't doing things for a reason, right? Hey, wait, I have more things here that I want to show you. Well, this one. The possible message. I get it. I don't know. Tell me if it's not for Bellingham or one of his teammates. And who else could it be for, right?
No, because I prefer to talk here. I know there are a lot of people who don't speak, and I have to look at the press to know what they're thinking. I mean, in the end, I prefer to talk here, straight from me, and that way it's easier, right?
It's clearer. He has this look like nothing's happening, right? What's that about? This is about a teammate, I assume, right? Well, more. If they made a mistake with the knee diagnosis, here he stands up for the club, but I insist, who can trust them? About what I told you, the press conferences. With this, they've been showing this mixed zone interview with Mbappé in a very chopped up way, which lasted longer than we thought. They've been showing it in a very fragmented way. I'm trying to include everything we didn't show in the live stream.
Do you ask for permission to go to Italy?
To the coach.
Do you ask the coach for permission to go to Italy? Who do you ask? You ask for permission, right?
Those words about the tuxedo.
Those words about the tuxedo. It's just mislabeled. Those words about the tuxedo that Arbeloa said.
Let's see if he can finish training today.
Let's see if he can finish training today. It's true that Arbeloa was sending little messages to Mbappé.
If it bothered him.
If this bothered you, if you thought it was about you.
No.
He has his opinion. No, he has his opinion.
I have had the club's authorization. And then no, I don't watch the coach's press conferences at home. You saw what he says.
He says, then I don't watch the coach's press conferences. What he says, even if he says it like that, no, I don't watch them because, as he's going to say now, I watch French television. This is disrespectful. Many people use the technique of being disrespectful, like saying, I don't care about this guy, or as Mexicans say, I don't even pay attention to him. I don't even acknowledge him, right?
I have French television. I don't have the television from my home. I don't see what he says.
I have French TV, but not Spanish at home. The other day, we saw him watching El Clásico. Madrid was already down 2-0, supporting Madrid on WIN Sports. France, I assume, right? Someone told me, Miguel Serrano, that's a VPN you have. Yes, of course. A football player also has to give, look, I know that with the issue of piracy or using a VPN or something like that, you're going to tell me, no way, man, no. We shouldn't give moral lessons. Still, a football player, damn, it doesn't look great, but that's the least of it. That's the least of it. Let's see here. Well, yeah. Because of the fact that he got a taste of his own medicine, in a way, Arbeloa, when they ask him about the, well, this is something that Mbappé says too, which is also incredible, that the team had a structure in the first half of the season, and in the second half, they lost that structure. Also, Mbappé, I have to mention Cope again. Sorry if this sounds disjointed. I feel like Florentino at the recent press conference. But there's just so much copying. There's a point here that Mbappé mentioned. Okay. He says that Kylian Mbappé also used his time with the media, because I couldn't find any audio of this, to once again defend Xavi Alonso. And Mbappé said, we started the season well. We were league leaders. Notice that he said this just yesterday, huh? We were in the Champions League top 8. Here, of course, he was right. But we lost everything in the season's second half. It hurts because we had a structure to our play, and we've lost it. That's a jab at Arbeloa, but a spectacular one. And that hurts a lot. We have to learn and accept criticism to come back next year. You see, he always ends with a phrase like, well, but maybe next year, you know. But here he took a jab at Arbeloa. And even if I think he might be right, you have to respect your coach, damn it. You can't make yourself the center of attention by saying, hey, this man, you need to shove that tongue of yours up your, pardon my language. You know where? You can't say that even if you're right. Also, with Arbeloa, there were some good games. The team later fell apart, but that also happened to Xavi. I mean, I would have kept Xavi for the whole season, but you also have to admit that at a certain point, the team fell apart for Xavi because it just did. And the same thing happened to Arbeloa. At a certain point, he had things under control, just like Xavi did. It didn't last as long for him, that's true, but then things fell apart too. Well, and he says, I had a great relationship with Xavi. He's going to be a great coach, but that's the past. We have to look forward. He always ends with one of these, but he just drops the subject, right? He says, it's very easy. We haven't won any titles, which hurts because we had the chance to do better, and we showed that in the first half of the season. We're all responsible for changing that, and the team must win. And about the structure, well, we've already talked about the structure, right? Yes, okay. When they ask Arbeloa about the structure issue, Arbeloa does very well because he says this.
Early in the season, the team had structure, but they've lost it in the second half. I don't know if it hurts to hear this from your player.
Thank you. If you want, you can play Killian's mixed zone interview and we can all comment on it together. Until I hear what he said, I'm not going to comment on every sentence here. And I would think it's perfectly fine if he thought that in the first part of the season, the team had structure and in the second part, it didn't. Surely he scored many more goals in the first part of the season than in the second part.
Arbeloa is fine here, but what a tough spot for him too. Now, I have a question. Are Arbeloa and Xavi still friends, man? They used to be super close. Damn, man. Everything has gone to hell. Really bad, 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 bad. If someone had told us this a year ago, we would have been saying, let's sign Xabi Alonso right now. And look, Arbeloa sent him his message, sent him his tweet saying, this is your home, you deserve this, and so on. Look at how we've ended up. Oh my God, oh my God. The knee diagnosis.
This is what Mbappé says.
Wait.
The difference between the first and the second, in the second half, I was also injured for a long time with my knee. This knee issue was the one that was tough, but I lost a lot of valuable time.
Did they make a mistake in the diagnosis? Did they make a mistake in the diagnosis? Did they get the diagnosis wrong in Madrid?
Madrid never makes mistakes. It's the world's best club. They never make mistakes.
He comes out with this here, but anyway.
It's just that it's difficult when you have an injury. What hurts me the most is that people thought I didn't want to play. When in the first part of the season, people said that I played too much.
Now. He's going to say something now that's unbelievable.
That's the only thing I thought didn't make sense. I think it was either play or not play. When I was on the field, people said that I played 90 minutes, that I was in the cup.
When I was on the field, people said, he played 90 minutes. He was in the Copa del Rey.
It didn't make sense.
Playing those matches didn't make sense for me. Just saying.
And then when
he says we lost later to a team of the same level when he wasn't there, like saying, damn, they accused me of playing against these teams. And I was the one who came to save Madrid against teams of this level. And when I'm not there, we go and lose. That guy never says anything without a reason, huh? He's a very smart guy. He's a very smart guy, man. This bastard is incredibly smart. The thing is, of course, he uses it with such bad intentions. He's really harmful, man. He's really harmful. If he used that intelligence to bite his tongue and use it for the good of the team, man, damn, what this guy could be. What this guy could be, man. What this guy could be.
I get injured, people say I don't want to play.
Well, and that's where he stands up for himself. With the whole thing about, I don't know. Well, I'll finish as I started, and I think I've covered everything. Sorry for how disorganized it all was, but I'll finish as I started. I'm devastated. I'm devastated because my team has fallen apart. My club has fallen apart completely in the last few days. Well, in the last few weeks, but seeing your president, your supposed best player, your star, express themselves in those terms, each one with their own motivations and their own issues. Seeing how there's no control, there's no leadership here. Florentino now makes the move of calling for elections with very little time so that no one can challenge him. They want to shake his position, but he makes sure the other person won't have enough time and so on. He blames the journalists for it. This guy is just playing his own game. In the end, no one cares about Madrid. Florentino only thinks about himself. Sorry. He's also thought a lot about Madrid and done us a lot of good, but here Florentino is thinking about himself.
No, I want to give the assets back to the members. Let them vote. Let them vote. They don't want to. One works at an electric company. Another has a Mexican accent. I'm not sure about the rest. Let that president come.
That was Florentino the other day. Florentino thinks about himself. There he was thinking about himself. This one is also thinking about himself. Sorry, it's terrible. It's terrible, man. Terrible. 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 Anyway, well, let me know what you think. Give it a like if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel. Please comment, share, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.